Okay, so we had one administrative announcement. That is the first item on the agenda, which was 34 Garner withdrew at the end of the day yesterday. So for any folks, and there probably are a few here that are attending regarding that, they're not making a variance application any longer. They are intending to submit a plan that would comply. We'll see where that goes. They are scheduled for a citation hearing next Wednesday.
Been quite the saga.
Yes.
They've really dragged us along for a rough ride.
Yeah.
Well, less for us to do today.
I'm going to start the meeting, call the meeting to order. I have to read a couple of paragraphs, and we'll start doing that right now. This is the September 18th, 2025 virtual meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals of the City of Norwalk. We're beginning at 7:02. And I need to read the following. To allow public access, anyone may access a meeting by telephone and/or Zoom, or a recording in the City of Norwalk YouTube channel, which delays. It's not up with us at, I don't know, 20 minutes delay, something like that. Specific instructions and links can be found at norwalkt.gov/meetings. Members of the public may call in to participate. Callers will not be able to see the meeting participants. All participants will be muted upon entering the meeting. To speak, dial 9 on the phone and you'll be called on by the host of the meeting during the public content session. All speakers must state their name and address. Comments must be on topic on the agenda and are limited to 3 minutes. If you need more time, I will probably give it to you. Anyone disrupting the orderly conduct of the meeting, including by using threatening, or hateful, or sexually explicit language, they will be removed. Please find the information using the link as I have stated. Members of the public who wish to provide live comments may also use the Zoom meeting platform. All participants will be muted on entering the meeting. To speak, click raise your hand indicator, and you will be called on by the host of the meeting during the public comment section when it's appropriate. All speakers that must state their name and address, comments must be on topic, and as above, they have to be pure as the driven snow. Anyone disrupting the orderly conduct of the meeting, including by using threatening, hateful, will be removed. We've never had to remove anybody, by the way. Please find the information using the link above. Members of the public who wish to provide public comment are encouraged to submit those via email in advance of the meeting. For those comments to be included in the record, they must be submitted by 12 p.m. the day of the meeting. Please email Tammy Maldonado at Norwalk, or actually T Maldonado at norwalkt.gov, with the subject public comment to provide written public comment prior to the meeting. If you can't do that, then you can join the meeting and can give your comment at the meeting. So with having done that, and we're called to order, let me identify who's with us tonight. Myself, Andy Conroy, Chairman, Lee Levy, former Chair, Steve Ferguson, Ben Ham-Peter, Kathy Olson. Am I missing anybody?
Danielle joined.
Is she
Yep.
here?
Hey, I'm here.
Hi there. And Danielle Sanchik. So we have 6. So I'll have to assign people to specific items. Let's get started with the first item. since I've done roll call. And that would be A25062601. Everybody is in on that one except me.
We're jumping to B. A was withdrawn.
But we dropped that one, didn't we?
Right, that's the withdrawn. Yeah.
Yeah. A25091802. And I'll drop out of that one. I need Danielle to read the item 25091802.
Yep, I'm just pulling it up. Oh, all right, hold on. All right, 250918-02, Jacqueline Zoller and Bo Coden. Variance of table 4.3.1-C for 41 Park Hill for front setback for proposed front porch, 20 feet required, 12.9 feet existing and proposed one-story addition, 30 feet required, 22.1 feet proposed at existing single-family residence, and special exception per section 8.3.3a.2.b.3 and section 1.21.3.a.2 to unmerge lots under same ownership. 43 Park Hill vacant and not meeting required lot width minimum, such as merged with 41 Park Hill. Both lots in CD1S zone. Property is located at 41 and 43 Park Hill Avenue, District 1, Block 71, Lot 60, District 5, Block 5, Lot 1. Request.
I suggest you deal with the special exception first.
Request. The applicant requests variances of the front setback for an addition to be utilized as living space for a front entry porch. The special exception request is to unmerge the lots combined by the zoning regulations because they are under the same ownership and the undeveloped lot is non-conforming with the required width. Background: 41 Park Hill contains an existing single-family home built in 1947. The dwelling is existing non-conforming with portions of the front setback. 43 Park Hill is a vacant lot. Analysis and findings: staff cannot identify a zoning hardship to justify further encroachment into the front setback for the front porch or living space addition. There is a possibility to expand as of right in the rear of the structure within the building envelope. The proposed dormers planned above the existing non-conforming footprint are allowed as of right, as vertical expansion is enabled through NZR section 1.21.3.d and not deemed an increase in nonconformity. The special exception to unmerge the lots does not require identifying a zoning hardship. However, NZR section 8.4.9.f.8 states the Zoning Board of Appeals shall not grant a special exception unless it is able to find, based upon evidence presented to it, that any standard of review, condition, or requirement such to grant this special exception has been met, and that the special exception will not adversely affect any contiguous property.
Lead it, Danielle.
Sorry.
It simply means that you're going to ask the applicant to step forward and introduce himself or herself.
Sure. So we have the applicant or someone representing the applicant for this item.
Yes. Good evening. My name's Bo Cowden. I am representing myself. My wife and I bought the property and closed on June 17th of this year. You wanted to start with the unmerging of the lots. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need a good case made as to why they should be unmerged.
Okay. So lot 43, the vacant lot. What actually, would you like a survey while I talk? I can share my screen.
Please
Yeah,
do.
that's helpful.
I told Tammy I wasn't gonna have trouble with this. Let's see. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay. So lot 43, the corner lot there, was a legal lot in the original subdivision prior to zoning changes. Lot 37, which is that corner lot 43 Park Hill Avenue, is currently being taxed as a separate lot. The lot's configuration is essentially equivalent to contiguous lot 45, not shown on this map, in terms of frontage, shape, size, and slope. 3 of the 5 lots on the cul-de-sac are non-conforming according to current zoning regulations. The neighborhood predates zoning regs, so most of the adjacent lots on the north side of Park Hill Avenue appear to be non-conforming due to lot size. I can share that as well. Just gonna reshare a different image. Actually, I believe I just need to. Excuse me, I'm trying to get. Here. So all of these lots are non-conforming. Again, the neighborhood predates zoning regs. Norwalk contains hundreds of steeply sloped residential lots. Generally, they're common in Norwalk. And I'll leave it at that for now and ask if there are any questions.
I take it that the piece that merged, which is currently vacant, is not a conforming lot, and given its slope and size, I wonder if it's even buildable.
I believe it to be buildable. Again, it's very close in terms of size, slope, width to a lot not shown here that has a house on it. I'm not actually, I don't have plans to build a house on the lot at this time, but I know that you might want to see proof that it is buildable, so I've prepared a couple documents. This is showing a conceptual building footprint that's 28 by 40. It would begin at topo elevation 80 and end at elevation 89, a 9-foot cut into the slope, common for a walkout basement. The dwelling footprint at lot 36, 45 Park Hill Avenue, which you can barely see here, begins at topo elevation 88 and ends at topo elevation 105, a 17-foot cut into the slope. And then it is not it's short on width. I've taken that width requirement and superimposed it over the lot just to show how much space there is on the lot.
Um,
Is this
the other
property
thing is
served by,
there's a massing that you're doing in your own home that is built. Do you live there, by the way?
As soon as I can get in there, I'll be moving in. We're up against the due date in November.
All right. I was just thinking about if you want to mass the home more, but take away the feeling of openness that you have immediately to the side of the house and build another house right there, very close to where this house exists. That seems a little odd to me, but anyway, carry on.
Yeah, not really looking to build a home. It's more an exercise in determining my assets, and this home that we bought turns out to be neglected and has taken a lot to give it the care that it deserves, and this would certainly help with the property's value.
Okay. Danielle, leave the decision about that until the end when we would normally decide that and move on with the next portion of this.
Sure. So if you want to make a presentation, or if you want to make a presentation about the variance for 41 Park Hill.
I would, thank you. I'm going to bring up my PDFs again. So again, the neighborhood predates current zoning regs. You can see here that the front setback goes right through the middle of the house. It actually goes right through the fireplace that's in the undersized living room. The existing home was constructed in the 1940s, decades before current CD1S zoning standards were enacted, resulting in illegal non-conforming placement on the lot. The floor plan of the house, which I'll share with you, is such that expanding the main living area can only occur in the location we are requesting. And I'll zoom in and show you. You can see the proposed right here.
So the hardship that you state that you have is that the lot is, as it is today, way undersized.
I don't think it is. Is it an undersized lot? I thought it met the minimum requirements for lot size.
It's not undersized. The zoning info chart shows you the minimum requirement.
What I'm saying is, when CD1S was enacted, it resulted in illegal non-conforming placement on the lot, and the floor plan of the house is such that expanding the main living area can only occur in this location that I'm requesting.
Mhm.
And the lot is on a cul-de-sac, which causes a unique difficulty in that the existing street setback is reduced. While the lot contains some open space to the rear and left side, these areas are not viable for expanding the home's undersized living room. The left side contains a one-car garage integral to the home's function, and the rear wall is fully occupied by a kitchen, bathroom, and bedroom, making expansion in that direction impractical without fundamentally altering the home's circulation and use. Additionally, it's not a big lot, and the rear yard is the primary outdoor green space for the property. Preserving this space is essential for maintaining neighborhood character and providing safe, usable yard area for my growing family. The proposed small front left addition is the only location that allows for the modest enlargement of the living room without removing essential rooms, demolishing the garage, or substantially reducing the property's green space. This design respects the scale and character of the neighborhood. Again, I'll show you some images, while meeting a reasonable functional need that cannot be achieved elsewhere on the lot. We designed this with classical Cape expansion configurations in mind. The addition is no closer to the front setback than the primary facade. We designed this with the minimum variance required to achieve our desired outcome. That is in regards to the addition variance request. I can share some images if you'd like to see them.
Yes.
Just a moment. Okay. This is the first floor plan, and I've highlighted the new exterior wall. So right now, here's the fireplace and here's the exterior wall. And we are requesting to come out this way 5 feet and 14 feet towards the street. And as you can see, it is no closer than the primary facade. I can show you what this looks like from another. So this is what it would look like from the front of the house. And it is a pier foundation.
You have a note that the stoop, front stoop, is to be rebuilt. Does it exist already, or is this brand new?
So I went back and forth with zoning and building. There was front stairs there, but we've actually gone ahead and centered the door. So this door is offset. It's now centered. We've been given approval to build front steps. The variance request is for the roof.
Yeah,
So
okay.
it's,
All right, thanks.
and then I can show you one more. Sorry, the copy got really light, but um, this is looking at it from the side. So you have the garage here. This would be the proposed first floor addition.
Mhm. Okay. Danielle, do you want to poll folks, see if they have questions?
Sure. Does anyone on the board have questions or comments that they want to address?
Yes. Are, is this house and the adjoining property served by city sewer and water?
It is.
Okay.
Anybody
Question,
else?
I have a question regarding number 43. There's trees there. You're looking at, how many trees have you identified to cut down?
Yeah, if I were to build a house, right, because that's a hypothetical, based on the drawing I showed, it would be in the 9 to 10 range. If you've driven by, I've already planted 2 trees at 41 Park Hill Avenue.
Mhm.
I'm most definitely in favor of having as many trees as possible.
If you were to, in theory, if you were to build a house on the empty lot, uh, how many zoning variances do you think you would be required to request?
I wouldn't need a setback variance. I believe the only variance would be the minimum building lot width. And that, to my understanding, that's the only request I would need, or the only approval I would need.
Okay,
Again, hypothetical.
Yeah,
yes.
a zoning approval might not result in a request to us for a variance.
Depends.
Anyway, other members on this particular item having questions?
I've got a question. The addition looks to be about halfway. It's sort of like, straddling the minimum setback line.
Yes.
Is there a reason that you're not just keeping it behind there and then you don't have to go to us in the first place?
Yeah, so it being the living room, and like, so essentially let's just say this dotted line would be, let's just call that the setback. Um doesn't really improves half the room we're looking to improve. So it doesn't really achieve what we're looking to achieve, and then also I think it doesn't do the home justice from the exterior in terms of what it would look like.
All right.
It'd be a little awkward corner.
I don't have anything else.
Else?
I think I'm
Okay.
good.
Then,
If the board is done asking questions, we can ask the public if they want to comment.
Did we
sure.
did we need any information on the roof, the portico?
I don't, but
No.
maybe they do.
Just weather protection, package protection, snow, ice, rain. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, the fact that entryway is approved as it is, and you're putting weather protection over the top of it
Right.
makes some sense. But we want to open it up to the public for comment. And so do we have anybody in the public that wants to support the applicant?
So we have some attendees, if you want to use the raise your hand feature, if you'd like to speak for this application. No one's called in. I think they're all regular computer Zoom.
Okay. If in the next few seconds we don't have a hand raised, then let's ask for anyone that wishes to speak against the applicant's application.
Okay, so I'll just say, just in case, if you want, you can press *6 to *9
9.
to raise your hand if you are called in. But again, I think everybody is on video. All right, we don't have any raised hands.
Okay. With no raised hands, we don't have a need for you to comment on what the public may have said. So I think we're ready to move on unless there's a last question from board members.
No,
All right,
Thank you.
next item. Thank you. So I'm going to sit on the next one. Who's volunteering not to sit on it? Or shall I just pick?
I'll volunteer if you need somebody.
Okay. Let me make sure I know who that is. Is that Ben or Steve?
Ben.
Ben.
Yeah.
Danielle, would you read the next item?
Sure. 25-0918-03, Teresa and Boyle Duncan, variance of table 4.3.1-C for side yard setbacks, 6 feet required, 0.3 feet proposed. Building height, 32 feet required, 38.5 feet proposed. And total building height, 40 feet required, 46.8 feet proposed. And building coverage, 35% maximum, 44.4% proposed. Variance of section 6.9.5.D.1 to allow a reconstructed patio, add a rear deck, install planting beds, and build in ground staircase, all within the required coastal buffer 15 feet of the coastal jurisdiction line, to elevate and expand the single-family residence in CD-1S zone and coastal area management overlay. Property is located at 6 Golden Court, District 6, Block 36, Lot 75. Request. The applicant seeks several variances to allow the elevation and expansion for an interior access staircase to an existing single-family dwelling, along with the variance to allow deck, patio, planting beds, and exterior access staircase in the coastal buffer. Background. The original home was built in 1932. It is situated on a lot that is non-conforming, undersized lot, within an area of an approximately 3,834 square feet. Previous variances were granted in 1953 for setback from street line and side yard to enlarge the home and add a one-car garage. In 2021, variance was granted to allow an addition over the existing first floor footprint. Analysis and findings. This proposal includes elevating the home to make it flood compliant with the current standards. While variances are not precedential, the board has identified a hardship for properties within the flood zone. In 2021, the hardship was previously identified as the undersized lot and abutting coastal waters. The prohibition for the work within 15 feet of the coastal jurisdiction line is a newer regulation to protect the shoreline from additional or expanded development. Please find attached coastal site plan review memo from Amelia Williams. Amelia indicates activities do require coastal site plan review by the Planning and Zoning Commission. This application requires 2 separate decision motions. 1, the variance request, which must include a hardship declaration, and 2, the coastal site plan review, which must include a declaration that the proposal is or is not consistent with CCMA goals and policies, and will or will not adversely impact any coastal resources. And we have Emilio Williams's memo. You want me to read that, Andy?
Yeah, please.
Okay. Upon review of our records and maps, it appears that the property at 6 Golden Court is within 100 feet of coastal resources and entirely within the VE 15 flood zone. The applicant is proposing to raise an existing residence and construct a new addition for interior stairs. The applicant also proposes to reconstruct a patio, add a rear deck, install new planting beds, and build a staircase within 15 feet of the coastal jurisdiction line. Per section 6.9.5.d.1 of the zoning regulations, while existing residences may be raised within 15 feet of the coastal jurisdiction line, no new construction or increase to its massing is permitted as of right. These activities require a separate coastal site plan review by the Planning and Zoning Commission with a referral to Harbor Management Commission, as the property is within 50 feet of coastal resources being bound by the Long Island Sound at the western rear of the property. However, any application for variance within the coastal area management boundary is required by statute to be reviewed for potential impacts to coastal resources by the board. The ZBA findings or motion must contain a statement that the proposal is or is not consistent with CCMA goals and policies and will or will not adversely impact any coastal resources. Thank you for the opportunity to comment. If you have any questions, please call.
Yeah. Who's representing here?
I'll start off as Mr. Chairman, if it's okay with you.
That's good.
John J. Ryan of Council Russo and Rizzio, 5 Brook Street, Darien, Connecticut. I should tell you, because I know you want them to introduce themselves. The applicants, Mr. and Mrs. Duncan, are here. Our architect, Howard Kelly, is here. And also Azure D. Sleichner of Race Coastal Engineers and Vincent Hines of Redness and Mead. And I know you want them all to chirp up and tell you their addresses, etc. Go ahead. Why don't we do the Duncans first?
There you go.
Good evening.
Duncan, say hello.
Yeah,
Hi.
yes. Good evening. This is Buell Duncan and Tracy, Teresa. We're at 6 Golden Court and appreciate the time and your consideration this evening. Thank you.
I'm Howard Kelly, the architect for the Duncans, HK2 Architects. I'm in Norwalk at 24 Buckingham Place.
Azure D. Sleicher with Race Coastal Engineering, 611 Access Road, Stratford, Connecticut.
Vince Hines, licensed engineer with Redness and Mead, having offices 22 First Street in Stamford.
Thank you, everybody. I'll kick off, and I expect will make you very happy, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, because hopefully Howard and I will cover most of the presentation, and everybody else will be available for your questions or any input we've got to. And so very quickly, just for the technical requirements, I know Ms. Maldonado has the neighbor notice as proof and the proof that the sign was installed on the premises. And I know you've got several letters of support from neighbors that are already in the file. I know you don't want me to read them into the record. I know you've got them and review them.
No, we're happy
if necessary,
to
they're all
have them.
positive. Pardon?
We're happy to do that.
Yes. Just wanted to make
Danielle
reference to
will
the
read
record.
Danielle will read them for you. Just give her a minute to find them.
Sure.
Yeah, we all received them along with their other documentation.
All right, we want to do them now.
Yeah, if they're very, very, very similar, just tell us who the person is and where they live and generally.
They're pretty similar.
Sure. So first is from Michael and Christine Angelakis at 38 and 46 South Beach Drive. They are aware of the challenges of coastal living regarding the recent ordinances for Norwalk and FEMA compliance. They fully understand the desire for these alterations and they strongly support their efforts and requests for variances. Number 2 comes from Joe and Maureen Topper. Their property at 8 Golden Court, which is within 100 feet of the property at 6 Golden Court on Bell Island. They were also the previous owners of the property. The Duncans have shared their plans with the home and will be presented to the zoning board. We have explored many ways to add a garage to their house. The plans we saw from them seem to be the best possible way to have an enclosed garage. We support their request for variances. Michael S. Madigan and Sandra B. Hart own property at 32 South Beach Drive, which is within 100 feet of the property at 6 Golden Court. They've shared their plans for the home and they support their request for variance. Lynn Gaylord at 2 Golden Court, also within 100 feet of the property. She supports the work that they are doing and urged the Zoning Board of Appeals to approve their application. And then Michael Madigan again. Raising houses will reduce our flood exposure and benefit the city rates as well. Height restrictions should be ignored to get a house back in compliance that was originally compliant when built before the guidelines were raised. I think that's it.
I think there were 6 of them. All set?
I think we got them
John?
all. Yes,
Go
sir. Okay. And so before I introduce Howard Kelly to take you through the graphics and exhibits very quickly, just a few preliminary comments. Obviously, everything related to this whole topic is occasioned by the FEMA height elevation requirements. So every single thing we talk about is because of that. And obviously, I should point out that I don't believe we're making any change to the footprint. Okay, and I know the height topic is always confusing. We're not adding anything to, for instance, the top of the structure. In other words, to use an incorrect term, we're not making the house any taller. Basically, the structure is being moved from the bottom up to comply with the FEMA height requirements, because I know that would sound confusing to a layman. We should throw in, for the pat ourselves on the back mode, that this application is incorporating a reduction in our impermeable surface area. So that's a plus that will come out of this. And I think I'll stop and save comments until the end, other than pointing out that you have to say, for all the case law about ZBA matters that occurs in the courts, this plan incorporates the minimum necessary adjustments in order to effectuate the structural changes that we're talking about here. Well, thank you. Howard, why don't you take it from here, and I'll reserve anything further.
Sure. Mr. Conroy, what would you like us to go through in order of the variances, or what is the right way to do it?
I want to focus on the main structure first.
Okay.
So we've had instances where a house exists and the structure is fixed and the structure is being raised, and therefore the peak height is beyond what is approval, but we approve it anyway. With those requests, the applicant is telling us they're not going to rebuild the roof. In other words, if you have a very high peaked roof, they're saying, no, it's what it is, we're just lifting the house. I need to know if that's the case here or whether you're rebuilding the roof.
No, there's no intention to rebuild the roof. It actually was recently replaced a couple of years ago, and it is simply, as John stated, to lift the house pretty much as is, put it on the new beams supporting it, and then this is for the freeboard, the 15 feet, VE 15 zone plus 2 feet.
Okay. The next thing I want to ask you about pertaining to the main structure is you want a variance to add a stairway. There is at this time a stairway that I guess goes round and round and sort of a turret-like structure. This would be on the side of the house, and I guess it takes you from one floor to the next, to the next, if I'm looking at it right. But I was concerned only because the space between the houses is so small, and this goes into one of those spaces.
Correct. It is rather tight. So actually, I'll explain more clearly. So I'm zooming in. I think you can see my screen, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the turret that you're referring to on the front of the house, which is shown here with the round stair, that actually only goes from the first floor up to the attic. It does not connect down to the basement. It's in a very funny place structurally. We looked at whether we could go down there, and it would really throw everything off with the layout there, plus the foundation widths were very tight. And so currently the Duncans don't have a way of entering their home from the inside. They have to go up one of the exterior staircases. As we all know, winter in Rowayton with water on both sides is not easy. So it's windy, you're on bluestone steps, you're slipping. And now to meet FEMA regulations, we're adding another approximately 10 to 11 risers to these exterior steps. So this new staircase, which I'm zooming in on the right, and I'll mark it if I can. Let's see. Well, let me mark it. This new staircase along the north side yard, extending into the north side setback, is only from the basement to the first floor and no further.
Okay, if I'm understanding you, you're saying you're going to keep the turret stairs for the general use within the house.
Correct.
And you're going to take these stairs where you're adding something on the side of the house to get from the outside level ground up to the first floor.
Correct, and that's all.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then as you go up from there, why add all the rest of the structure?
Well, we wanted to, so the existing house, I don't know if you all have driven down there. I know it's in a tight little street, and but you can kind of see it from Crescent Beach. It's quite a tall wall as it is, a very flat wall with no definition. And now we'd be adding almost 6 feet to that additional for FEMA. So we wanted to be nice to our neighbors. We wanted to put some more windows on that side and break down the massing a little bit. So just create another similar shingle style roof on this structure that kind of, I'm showing you the 3D view of it, kind of mimics what else is there, and gives a little bit of a better elevation to the neighborhood. This is the side of the house that faces the neighborhood.
I mean, it's attractive, but the reason I was raising the issue was simply because, and only because, the space between the lot edge and the building itself is so small. So building into it any more than is necessary is a little unusual to me. But I mean, and I think an architect can figure out how to make it look good.
Absolutely. We should also say, reiterate too, I'm going to go up to the site plan. That area, and unusually this lot is probably the most impervious lot I've ever seen. It's 88.3% impervious surface as it is. So we're already over the setback on that side just by virtue of it being a house from 1932. And that area is wholly paved currently. It's used for air conditioning units and the like. So it's not, I hear what you're saying about the massing. I'm just pointing out as well that it is not creating new impervious surface on that side.
Are you going to leave the air conditioning down on the ground, or are you going to put it up above?
So we've come up with we've shown our neighbor and she's happy with it. I'm moving to that side elevation. So currently the air conditioning is very visible. We've proposed putting it behind some slat work on that upper level. So part of that roof line that you're asking about is also to help conceal air conditioning units.
Conceal it. Okay. All right. It gives another purpose to it. Thanks.
I appreciate you asking. Thank you.
Right. I like that the AC units are off of, just these 6 foot kind of, piers, if you will. So I like the use of the roof. I do have one question, Mr. Kelly. So it's my understanding then that you would be going, they pull into the garage, and then that new staircase is basically accessible from that 1-car garage. I'm understanding this correctly, right?
Correct. So there would be like a minimal built out, because we're in the BE zone, as you know, so we have this is all breakaway walls and piers, but we'd have the minimum kind of access stair at the bottom. So there's a back door in the garage, go up a couple steps, turn, and go up in this addition to the first floor.
Understood. Thank you.
Any other member of the board want to
Could
ask?
we see a site plan, please?
Sure, absolutely. Site plan or survey, what's more useful to you?
I'll start with the survey.
Okay. Here's the survey. So unfortunately, I'm not able to mark color for some reason on this version, but you can see that the house that, of course, as John pointed out, is with everything on Bell Island almost. We're over our setbacks on all sides except the rear. The coastal resource setback essentially is almost the entire lot. And I'll point out here so it's clear. So on the right-hand side of this plan, which is north, shows our modest addition for that staircase. But then in the east and the west, so the front of the house that I'm zoomed into here, and then in the rear along the sound seawall, we're actually restoring more than the area we're adding as green space. Right now, as we said, there's limited green space. So the lot will go from 88.7%, I have it right here. The lot will go from 88.7% impervious to 84.2%. So a net decrease of about 170 square feet of pervious surface coverage.
From my observation of this plan, it appears that you've got almost zero access to the rear yard on this property.
As it is, and yes, as it is now, yeah, right.
So to get something from the front to the back, you've got 2 feet on one side and nothing on the other. You can't walk around the house.
Correct. It's
Okay.
very extraordinarily.
Are
tight.
they going to be trespassing on adjacent property to access the backyard?
No, so that's a great question. And it's sort of where currently you pull. I'm going to go to the floor plan again for us. So here's the existing basement plan. Currently, you see the car in the carport. You walk behind the car, and there's 5 steps up to their terrace that's on the west on the sound. In our plan as well, now we have. I'm zooming into the garage again. We have the garage. We have 3 steps up, and then another door right back out to go back outside. So the same kind of concept there. There's a way through the house.
Okay, so you will actually be walking through the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Fortunately, they have such little space back there, it's easy to maintain. So I guess we're not concerned about giant lawnmowers or anything like that.
You're bringing
Just
materials
mow the
in.
lawn with a weed whacker.
Right.
Bring materials in. How you do that to the back?
Well, it's all have to be done by hand at this point. I mean, once the addition is complete, probably likely be something where we would start from the back and come forward.
Yeah. I take
So
it you steps that go down to the water.
Let me
Sorry?
take it a step further. So to construct this addition, you will literally have to have the cooperation of your next door neighbor.
Correct. I mean, yes, we do the Duncans have spoken to her a lot. But also just to point out, that's a great question. We don't have the structural section on here because it's not really zoning purposes, but I'm going to zoom in here. So we're putting our steel beams below the main part, and then they're cantilevering over for the first floor portion of this addition. So that will be supported as a cantilever, and then the buildup beneath the breakaway walls will just be built up to that structure. So it won't require, bringing a crane in and putting it on the neighbor's property or staging a lot on the neighbor's property. It's done on purpose to minimize that.
And how are they going to carry the air conditioners up to the roof?
That is,
I mean, you're going to hire a helicopter?
Yeah, I don't have the muscles for that. They're not enormous. They're there now. They're about 30 by 30.
They're heavy.
Yes, they're heavy. They're heavy. It's a great question.
I think you could use a crane if you had to.
Right.
You able to get down to the water behind the house?
Yes, as it is and will remain. That's not being touched.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So one could bring some materials right up from the water.
Correct. It's truly island living at this point, I guess.
Right, but just to confirm then, just so I'm very familiar with lifting houses. So the house will be raised, to, 15 feet, whatever the proposal is, specifically, but roughly 15 feet. And then the workers, as I understand it, they will work underneath the house, moving things back and forth. And only will that section be closed up at the very end, because those are all just the breakaway walls. So, right, so from a construction perspective, it's not that difficult on the neighbors.
Correct. Exactly right. So the house would be lifted. I'm sure everyone's seen the multiple on South Beach as it is, sitting on cribbing, a new foundation that is designed to withstand. So Ms. Duncan shared a interesting video of one of the winter storms a couple of years ago where the sound essentially connects through the little spit of land that they're on, and it becomes part of the sound momentarily during the storm. So this is all to avoid that. So we'll have micro piles on footings to make the house much more resilient for the future. And then to your point, Ms. Olson, once we do all that, this kind of skirting that you see that's covering it up is really coming at the very end, and it's all designed to break away for that large winter storm or hurricane.
Another question, and maybe Mr. Ryan could participate in this answer. Do you anticipate having a letter of agreement with the next door neighbor to allow access over the property to construct and maintain this house?
Sure. Let me just say, I don't want to speak for the Duncans who are here, but I know they've had a number of conversations with the neighbor. I'm not sure if it's inappropriate for me to say that from my perception of those discussions, I don't think attempting to do an agreement like you're suggesting, Mr. Levy, would be difficult, but it isn't done yet, if that's what you are asking, because we aren't approved yet. But I'm not worried about that as a legal issue, no.
Okay. I bring that up because unfortunately, a project I was involved in some 30 years ago, there was a question of accessibility, especially when the adjoining property was sold and the new owner denied any access to my client. And it created a considerable problem, and I can foresee that happening in the future.
Well,
And
I guess
I'd like to see it resolved, not as part of this hearing, but just as a recommendation on my part.
Sure. No, I guess the best thing I can say is thank you for the heads up there. That was something that's on our radar. And obviously, once we know we have all the approvals, the intention would be to follow up with that. You've occasioned me to point out that we're all talking about as Mr. Kelly referred to, the premises becoming part of the sound, in a huge storm, it's something. But I know all of the commissioners are familiar with the location, but I have to say for the record, the property has waterfront on both the east and west sides, which makes this whole topic interesting. And so access, of course, that you're talking about also is coming right from the front on Golden Court itself. So if it wasn't clear from the record, yeah, we're waterfront on two sides.
Oh, yeah.
But thank you for the question.
I recognize that.
Somebody listening to this, though, might wonder what we were talking about, but that's why I said it. Thank you. Good questions. More questions?
Any others? Are we ready to hear from the public?
I was just going to say, if you'll permit me, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Kelly, we interrupted you immediately with questions. Is there anything that you wanted to get in your presentation that we sloughed through?
No, I simply, leave it up. These are great questions we've had so far. I hope that we've clarified them But if anything's more specific, I'm happy to answer it. But for now, I feel we presented all these changes are, I'll say one more thing. I know that we're requesting, it's actually I'm going to go back to the zoning table for a moment just to clarify. It is a 6.5 foot and 6.8 foot variance from the building height or midpoint and the total building height or peak, as they used to be referred to, and are still referred to here. Just pointing out that this is the absolute minimum. So we had to raise our first floor, as you all know, it's 15 feet because we're the VE 15 zone, plus 2 feet. And then from there, our entire structure has to be above that point. So we worked with our structural engineer and our coastal engineer. We're using the shortest possible steel beams to support this thing. So our new first floor height will be 18.8 feet. So less than 2 feet above the freeboard. That was the minimum we could achieve with the existing floor joist construction and the new steel beams. So we know that's important. We're not wanting to make this thing any taller than it has to be to meet FEMA.
Good.
Thank you.
Anything further? I don't want to cut you off.
No, I think that's all I would like to add for now. So thank you very much.
And you reduce the impervious rear of the house.
Correct. Actually, both the front and the rear, we added more green space. So I think the amount we added for this side staircase that we're asking for, we doubled that, and that's how much we took away, or sorry, that's how much paving we took away. So we're actually net decreasing. Also a benefit to the neighborhood and to the Duncans who would love some more green space.
Great.
Actually, I have a question for Tammy. There's only a 1-car garage here. Is the parking in the driveway sufficient?
Existing non-conforming.
Existing non-conforming. Okay. Question answered.
That's the name. That should be the subtitle of the project, existing non-conforming.
Existing non-conforming everywhere.
Yeah.
It's
Another
in
word,
Bell Island.
Bell Island.
Yes, Bell Island.
Bell Island.
Maybe we should write zoning regs just for Bell Island.
Yeah, probably.
Don't
Let's
give
not
the
start
staff
that.
ideas,
Let's not
Mr.
start that.
Kennedy, please.
Tammy just had to we just redid everything, right?
Let's not start that.
Tammy, let's see if we have anybody who's raised their hand or has otherwise indicated that they want to speak in support of the project.
So in addition to the letters that were sent in, if you would like to speak on behalf or in support of this application, use your raise the hand feature on Zoom, or if you've called in, you press *9 to raise your hand and then *6 to unmute.
So
No,
hearing none, is there anyone that wants to speak against the application?
okay, last chance to raise your hand if you wanted to speak.
You're saying you do have one?
No, last chance. There's no raised hands.
Okay. All right, I think we waited a reasonable time. So you don't have anything to contradict, John, so we're ready to move on here.
Nope.
Unless
I would
we
just
have
make
any
the
last
observation. I
questions.
know you folks have a lot of Bell Island matters. I hope
I
this
don't
isn't
think I want to cut
most
the
of-
board off, but if there's a last question, ask it now,
No?
because we're going to move on.
Thank you.
All right, good. We're wrapped. What do we got next up, Danielle?
All right, I think we have 238 Silvermine Avenue.
Okay, fantastic. Now we make decisions about this at the end, so you can hang around if you want. If you need to know what our decisions are, you can find them out in the morning. Or you can hang around. Go ahead.
All right. 25-0918-04. And Tammy, help me out with the last name here. An SG is an unusual, but it's Bethany and Nicholas
Yeah, if you guys want to chime in with that one.
Brignoli.
Strignoli.
Yep.
All right. I'll work on that one. Variances of table 4.3.1-A for front setback, 40 feet required, 24.1 feet proposed, and rear setback, 30 feet required, 3.5 feet proposed for proposed additions and proposed pool. Rear yard, 60 feet required, side yard, 44.1 feet proposed. Parking requirements. Allow parking within the front setback, 40 feet required, 12 feet proposed. Driveway width, 10-foot max within 20 feet of the frontage line, 32 feet width proposed, including proposed additional parking space / backout space and additional parking space. Required 10 feet from any property line, proposed 0. Required minimum landscape screening, none proposed, per section 4.3.12. Point B, point 4, EF for new driveway parking area at existing single-family residence in CD1L zone. Property is located at 238 Silver Mine Drive, District 5, Block 43, Lot 21. Request. The applicant seeks multiple variances for setbacks, driveway, and parking requirements to accommodate proposed additions and alterations, including relocating the attached garage to the principal frontage and installing a pool on site. Background. Tax records indicate this single-family dwelling was originally built in 1715. There have been renovations through the years, including a variance granted in 1994 for an addition. The applicant indicates this property is not listed as a historic structure. Analysis and findings. This is a corner lot under current zoning regulations. The principal frontage is on Mary Austin Place and the secondary frontage is on Silver Mine Avenue. Both the structures and the lot have existing nonconformities, including the lot size being smaller than the zone requires. While the building envelope is further reduced under the current zoning regulations as a corner lot with 40 feet required setbacks from both streets, there seems to be a preferred design choices beyond lot constraints at the root of the variance request. Possibilities for alternatives to reduce the variance requests should be considered. All right, Andy, back to you.
Who's representing? I guess you guys are representing yourselves, right?
I can speak to the project. My name's Justin Toward. I'm the architect on the project, and we've also got Kurt Lowenstein from Land Tech, our civil engineering firm, with us as well.
Justin, can I interrupt 1 second? I'm sorry. Were we going to have someone sit out for this one?
Yeah, we are.
Did
I
we
need a
identify?
volunteer.
I'll sit out.
That was Steve?
Steve, you're
Yes.
sitting out? All right, Steve is sitting out. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my name's Justin Toward, architect with Further Architecture Office. We're based in Stratford. And our clients, Nick and Beth Scrignoli, it's a good Italian name, by the way, are also on the call. And as I said, Kurt Lowenstein from Land Tech, our civil engineer, is on the call as well. So what I'll do is hand it off to Kurt briefly just to run through the hardships and the variance requests, and then I will present the project narrative and the architecture.
Thanks, Justin. Good evening, everyone. For the record, Kurt Lowenstein. I'm a professional engineer in Connecticut with Land Tech. Office is located in Westport. So, I mean, I know we kind of read through the variance requests, but, I'll run down quickly. We'll get to the site plan showing the actual request later after Justin discusses the building. But just as a quick recap, this is a corner lot. It is an undersized lot. So we are subject to 2 fronts as well as dealing with an undersized lot for the zone. The house is historic and the position of it does create a lot of constraints for us as far as a design perspective. So we are asking for Two setback variances, one in the front yard off of Mary Austin Place, which is our principal frontage, as well as the rear yard. The existing house itself actually encroaches beyond the property, so we wouldn't be increasing any nonconformity with respect to setbacks for either of the additions that we're proposing. The pool does sit within the side yard encroachment. It's a little challenging because of the makeup of the site, which I'll get into a little bit later. It'll make it easier looking at the actual site plan itself. And then as far as the driveway is concerned, we are seeking a variance for width, where 10 is required. We're asking for 20 for the width coming in. And then as Tammy noted in her staff report, adding on the turnaround piece of it does expand it out to the 32 feet. These requests, as we'll get into later, I think, when you see the configuration of the existing building that we're working with, which is historic in nature, we feel that these are reasonable requests, and we would hope that you would be willing to work with us if there's some areas that maybe we can reduce the variances, as Tammy noted in her staff report. We would be happy to have that dialogue with you. But I'd like to pass this over to Justin, let him start with the building aspects, and then I'll finish up with the site related items.
Yeah, always state what the hardship is.
So the legal hardships, as I mentioned, is it's a legally undersized lot, pre-existing non-conforming lot as respect to lot area. It is a corner lot, so it is subject to 2 fronts, which in and of itself is a hardship for the lot. And the other piece of it, which is more related to the placement of structures, is it is within a FEMA flood zone. So there's a lot working against us here, essentially, as far as any development on the site goes.
Silvermine River is the cause of a flood there.
This would be related. I believe it actually is maybe Good Wives that runs in the back there. While Justin runs you through the building stuff, I'll check on which river. You may be right. Maybe
Can we see a site plan, please, to start this off?
Now, I want to understand, just so it's clear, what the main structure is and the variances needed for the main structure. Site plan will be handled right after that. Okay, Lee?
Okay.
All right, so can everyone see my screen? This is Justin again from Further Architecture.
Okay. This is a little hard for me to read, but whatever.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Why don't I'm going to flip to the zoning improvement survey so we can see the areas that Kurt itemized that relate to the requests, and then I'll just run through a little bit of the narrative and the backstory for the project. So this is our corner lot, Mary Austin Place here. Silvermine River does run here to the east, and Silvermine Avenue here on the left. This is a corner lot, and Mary Austin Place is a cul-de-sac. So this is one of, I think, eight houses in Mary Austin Place. And as you can see, the house is, just to clarify, the house is not historically listed. So when we say it's historic, we just mean to say that it's very old.
Actually, I'd like to interrupt you. I believe the house is included in the Silvermine Center Historic District that was expanded about 5 years ago from the tavern down to the Merritt Parkway Bridge.
Yeah, so that was one of the first things that we reviewed on the project when we started. And according to my research, and I spoke with the historic consultant that Norwalk works with, the house is not listed and it's not included in that survey.
Okay.
But during our conversation, just as an aside, his take on this was, it'd be great if you guys could, as you think about the renovations, because there are no historic boards governing this, that you'd be able to kind of keep it the way it is. And that's largely what we're doing. We're architectural. We're trying to sort of bring it back to some of its grandeur relative to where it is now. So the house is originally built 1715 and over the years has had a number of additions, but as you can see, it's quite close to the setback line. It's about 19 feet from the porch to the setback, to the property line. So probably about 22 feet from the front. And then this is the side that faces Mary Austin Place. And then here you can see the setbacks overlaid on the site plan. So what our proposed additions are that have triggered our requests for variances. The first I'll talk about is the driveway, which Kurt mentioned. So the existing driveway is up here off of Silvermine Avenue. And we're proposing to move that, relocate that entry to Mary Austin Place and to remove the previous driveway and curb cut, and that would get reverted to lawn and plantings and pretty trees and shrubs. In order to make that work, because we've got a limited amount of depth to work in with the existing building footprint, which is shown in this dark outline, we're asking for essentially a wider curb cut, a wider entry, so we'll be able to get 2 cars in there and a turnaround space. And I'll run through kind of why we did those moves, why we think those are important for the project. The second is proposed building additions. So those are shown here in gray. So one here and one here. And those are 1-story additions, which are complementary to the existing massing of the project. I think it makes it a bit nicer as it faces both Mary Austin Place and the neighbor to the east. We're proposing a pool, and the rationale for the placement of the pool is really primarily usability for the design. There's a strong center line on the house as we've proposed the redesign, and so the pool is essentially centered on that and centered on this outdoor terrace that we've proposed. So that's a bit of an overview of the site plan. You can see also that this is the flood zone here, that it's an odd shape for a lot, but it's what the topography is doing. And so the allowable as of right area that we could expand in architecturally is, as you can see, is quite limited. It's a little sort of pizza shaped slice in the middle of the site. And I think to Kurt's point about the fact that this is a corner lot, I did a brief survey, which I can share, of similar properties in the Silvermine neighborhood and up Silvermine Road, really from the Merritt north. And I think what's a little bit unique about this corner lot in particular is the geometry. So many of the corner lots, most of them, are either square in proportion or they may be somewhat rectangular like this, but the house is often rotated along the long axis of that rectangle, which makes development a bit easier. And so for us, we're just running up against the house is facing Silvermine Avenue, which is great. It's a beautiful house. We want to restore it, in a historic way. But given the lot size and shape and orientation, it makes development that much more difficult. So if it's okay, what I'd like to do is run through the presentation here, and I'll just kind of run through the existing conditions, show some photos of the house as it is, the existing plans, and then show what we're proposing. I'd like to read some of this just so we have a little bit of context, and what I'll do is just run through in a sort of bullet point fashion. This is a summary that we created to kind of give a bit of backstory about the design process and the variance requests. So the owners, Nick and Beth, they'd like to contribute to the historic and the architectural character of the Silvermine neighborhood, first of all, but then also Norwalk in general. This is they see this as their forever home. They don't have any plans to move from here. Their kids are, going to school in Norwalk, and they want their kids to grow up here. Family of 5. The house went through pretty devastating house fire. The entire interior is completely destroyed, and so that was kind of the trigger for this project. And so what they'd like to do is to be able to grow old here, make this their forever home, which largely meant from a planning perspective that we were trying our best to locate the garage, the kitchen, the primary bedroom, and the dining room all kind of in one level. One thing that's challenging about not only the lot but the house itself is that because the house is so old, it's been modified so many times over the years, which has some charm to it. But I think what's difficult about that is there currently are 9 distinct floor levels in the house. So when you look at the front of the house, you might say, okay, well, it's a 3-story house, 2.5-story house. Maybe there's 3 levels, but there are actually 9 levels. And so as we really started to get into the design work of the project, what became really clear is we'd like to make that as simple as possible, and especially the sort of single level living as they think about making this kind of their forever home. That because the home has historic charm, contributes to the neighborhood, even though it's not listed. The homeowners do not want to, get rid of the house. They don't want to do anything like that. They really want to keep it, restore it to better than it was before the fire. And so as we looked at the design of that, which you'll see the street facing facades, we've sort of renovated and preserved. And then the Mary Austin facing side and the rear side, we've designed additions that are we think are low profile and complementary in their nature. As it relates to the hardship, being on a corner lot, being on an undersized lot, and the fact that as I mentioned, this corner lot is sort of long and skinny. We really, when we were in our planning phases, couldn't find anywhere to go where we weren't hitting a setback and the need for a variance. The idea of going just vertically, based on the existing envelope and just sort of going up from there. As you could probably infer from a previous granted zoning variance, it's not very easy in this house because there are so many levels and the rooms are so small. And so we're doing our best to kind of make those rooms a little bit more clear and functional, and levels a little bit more clear and functional, but to really get the space that they need to be able to function as a family, we're asking to go out a little bit. And also just a bit more budget friendly to kind of do this the way we're proposing. And then the last thing I'd like to highlight is just about the driveway. So the current driveway as it's located now, the entry is off of Silvermine Avenue, and there is a bit of a turnaround space. So if I go to, this is the existing survey, there's a fairly wide zone here that they can turn around, but what becomes difficult is often, a situation where you're backing out onto Silvermine Avenue, which is definitely unsafe. And so, an increased sort of functionality within the home was part of that rationale to propose to move the garage, but there is a large portion of that that's really about safety and about traffic flow. And from a design perspective, we also think that the elevation that faces Silvermine Avenue is going to look a good bit better without a big driveway there. So let me move through now.
Don't leave that. Go back and show me the new.
Okay, here's the proposed driveway here.
Yeah, so it's considerably smaller than what was there already.
Correct.
And Mr. Chairman, if I could add to that with respect to the driveway being relocated on the Mary Austin, as compared, as you noted, it is smaller, but also from a safety standpoint, Mary Austin is a small cul-de-sac road, not heavily traveled. This is a major safety improvement. While I know it's not a basis necessarily for a variance, I think it is worth noting. Certainly, you can appreciate if you had, small children backing out onto Silvermine Road versus backing out onto Mary Austin Place. You would certainly want a safer condition. So that was, aside from the interior design perspective, as Justin mentioned, we also were looking at, what is a safer, more functional driveway for the homeowners here.
And you're tearing out the old drive, putting in lawn.
Correct. So the streetscape would have essentially no driveway on the Silvermine Avenue, which is the primary frontage if you're thinking for folks that would be driving by. And I know that has been an emphasis with the new zoning regulations, is to eliminate the percentage of driveway along the main streetscapes of homes. So while it doesn't technically conform to the regulations on Mary Austin, if we're looking at this from the Silvermine side, it's very compliant because there's absolutely no there will be absolutely no driveway on that side, restored to lawn or landscaping.
Curb cut goes away and you ask for a curb cut on the new location. Got it.
And you're keeping a fence and a gate along that driveway, so it's concealed behind that. Is that what I'm reading in this plan?
There would be new screening on if you were standing on Silvermine and looking at the new driveway, there would be screening on the property, so you wouldn't see the driveway or the turnaround from the Silvermine perspective.
But from Mary Austin Place, it looks like there's a gate and a fence that's running across the.
Yeah, I can speak to that. I think
side.
this fence will probably be modified. We wouldn't have a gate or a fence running through the driveway. That's not what we would be proposing, but to Kurt's point, screening of some kind would be totally viable for the relocation of the driveway.
Okay. Any other questions from board members?
I take it all your existing and new fencing will be of the proper height for safety purposes for the pool?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
And one other thing to note too, as it relates to the setbacks for the two additions, while they don't conform to the new, front and rear setbacks, by approving these, it's not creating any additional nonconformity from a setback perspective, because the existing residence itself is closer to, in both respects, to the rear and the front, is closer to the property line than either of these additions would be.
The amount of paving that you've got, and if I'm looking at the proposed patio, I take it that's impervious?
Yes.
Yes, and that's been included in the calculation. I'm sorry, go ahead, Justin.
And then the area just to the one side of the pool and the other side of the pool where you have a bunch of squares, though that area is also impervious?
So
those would be pervious.
Yeah, there's the current design, when we ran the coverage numbers, included the impervious patio, and then those pavers down by the pool, we're proposing like a bluestone stepper with a pervious zone. I believe it's a 6-inch strip in between each one.
No, it'd be great if it wasn't such a large mass of impervious paving and stones. If there were a way to avoid that.
Yeah, one of the one of the ideas that we had floated from a design perspective with the clients some time ago was potentially putting a small ornamental tree in the middle of that patio. But what they're planning for at this point is that's kind of the central, almost the heart of the home on the outdoor. So outdoor furniture, that sort of thing. And if it's
You haven't mentioned it, and it's only partially shown on that site plan survey, is that there is a walkway on the north side of the property back to the Silvermine School from Silvermine Avenue. That correct?
Yeah, that is correct. So you can see this zone here. I don't know if you can see my mouse moving back and forth, but
Yes,
that
I
is
do. I'm familiar
yeah.
with it.
Yep. And if it's okay, what I can do is I'll run through real briefly the rest of the presentation so you get a bit more context, the existing and the proposed. So these are the just a few existing photographs of the home in 2019. This was prior to the fire, and these are some photos more recently after the fire. Most of the home on the front side anyways, is boarded up right now and is in the process of being remediated currently. Existing conditions, we've already talked through the existing survey, and I'll just run through these existing plans really briefly. But I think, these sort of homes have a lot of character and a lot of charm, but they can be extremely complex to bring into 2025, but also retain that character from the history. So that's what we're trying to do. A lot of small, tight rooms and a lot of levels. It's probably a little bit difficult to see the number of stairs, but as I said, there's about 3 different levels per floor. There's 3 floors, so that's 9 total levels, a lot of stairs. And then the 3rd floor here existing. These are the existing elevations. So this is the front of the home that faces Silvermine Avenue right now with the garage. And we think that especially this portion of the facade will be much improved based on what we're looking at doing. This is the side elevation that faces Mary Austin Place. And as you can see on the rear elevation and the side elevation, this was the addition that was granted by a zoning variance in 1994. Was essentially an addition to the rear of the home on the first level. And so what our design proposes is essentially an update of that same idea because of the existing planning. So on our proposed design, here what we've highlighted just in red is the additional areas outside the setbacks that we're proposing to be added. This thick line here shows the existing outline of the home. Proposed pool here, and then an existing shed here that we're suggesting is going to be relocated to the east of the site. This is the lower level proposed plan, and you can see on the left is that entry, 2-car entry with a small turnaround off of Mary Austin Place for a 2-car garage, which then leads into a space on the first floor, as I had mentioned, which is primarily a living space, which I think Nick and Beth can speak to this, but their vision is this is our house. We're going to be here forever. So they want to be able to grow old here and age in place, and everything is on one level instead of up a stair down, up a stair here and then down 2 stairs here and then up 3 stairs here, which is kind of the current configuration. Level 2, we're proposing a flat roof, again, to we think to update and sort of beautify what's existing, which is a slight shed roof. And level 2 also includes a guest room, an office, a living room, and a playroom for their kids. The third floor is essentially the bedroom wing for their 3 kids. So they've got a larger bedroom here, a bathroom that sort of acts as a shared bathroom for all 3 bedrooms, and then 2 other bedrooms here and a laundry room on the 3rd floor. So I'll skip over to the elevations. These are the proposed elevations. So if you recall, this is the side of the house that faces Silvermine. Here, you know, right in this zone is where the current garage is, the existing garage. And so we're proposing that this becomes an office, and then above is a bedroom with a new dormer. And new windows and doors for the rest of the front facing elevation. And in the rear, you can see that we've dotted in red existing roof lines. These are dormers on the 2nd floor, and this is a shed roof currently that is where we're proposing to put the garage. So we're suggesting a flat roof goes here, and then the additions off of the back create a courtyard, primary bedroom on the right, and a dining room on the left with a kitchen in the middle. This elevation on the side faces Mary Austin Place. And so we've retained the gable end that faces that street. The addition on the 3rd floor here is set back so that that gable end is still shown. And in red, we've dashed in the existing dormer on the 3rd floor relative to the new dormer that we're proposing, which is a shed roof instead of a gable roof. And here you can see the elevation that to the right side is east, and so this is the view essentially from Mary Austin Place. And this view you would really never see because of the comment about the pathway that connects to the Silvermine School. There's a pretty large fence there, and so this view would be nearly impossible to see. Just for a bit of final context, we've created some 3D images that show the proposed design for the project. I'll just highlight a few. Again, on this right side, it's not really shown here, but this is a fence with a pathway beyond that leads to Silvermine School. Again, from the rear of the home, you know, especially the locating of the pool really came from that the design and the geometry of the house, putting it on the main axis of the house, and this outdoor space that you had mentioned, Mr. Chairman, about impervious space. You know, that's sort of proposed to be a hangout space, lots of furniture, and a place for everyone to congregate. From the Mary Austin Place side, this is showing the proposed driveway, 2-car garage, and then the addition to the back of the home that opens out to a terrace above, and the pool being set down about 2 or 3 feet to address the existing grade. This is again from that corner intersection, Silvermine sort of going to your left, and then Mary Austin going to your right. And then this last view just shows what the area that's currently the garage with no windows, no doors, just a solid garage door that gets replaced with an office below and a bedroom above, and lawn and plantings and greenery and that sort of thing. So that's about what I've got to share in terms of the design. I'd be happy to answer any questions. I know Nick and Beth are on the call, and I believe a number of their neighbors are also on the call who would like to voice support for the project.
Any further questions, ladies and gentlemen on the board?
Mine have been answered.
Yeah, the only side comment I have is I'd like to see them reduce the impermeable. And I would suggest on each end of the pool, the outer sets of the squares. I forgot the material you said you were using. Brownstone?
Bluestone, yeah.
Bluestone.
Mhm.
I would think you could cut that back a bit, and that would actually add something nice if you did it right. Beside that, I'm all set. It's time to hear from the public, those that support the application. Raise your hand now.
So we have several going up. I'm going to just start from the top. So Alex Hoidel, you can speak. You need to, I'm allowing you to talk, and then you just need to identify yourself and where you live.
Hi, this is Alex Hoidel Billington and Charlie Billington. We live at 234 Silver Mine, across from Mary Austin Place on the corner from Nick and Beth. We do approve this. I think it looks great. I think it's going to be a great addition to the neighborhood. Absolutely. And I love that it's in keeping with the antique home.
Next, we have Lisa Pollock. Lisa, you can go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. I'm calling from my cell phone. Lisa Pollock with Omar Pollock. I live over at 4 Mary Austin Place, so I'm right next door to Beth and Nick. And we just want to express our full support of their effort to repair and renovate this home. So they've been really kind and thoughtful members of this community, and I'm super excited to see them rebuild and restore a cherished part of our neighborhood. The design that we walk through, I think, has been purposely and thoughtfully planned out and will truly add beauty and value to our neighborhood. So we're really excited to be able to, see them build and return back and be the amazing neighbors that we've come to all appreciate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we have Annie and Eric Higgins.
Yes, this is Eric and Annie Higgins. We live at 8 Mary Austin Place. We have also been we've also been walked through the plans, and we're likewise supportive. I mean, besides actually beautifying the neighborhood, I'm really excited about the fact that it's going to make the house safer for their kids. And anything that makes it safer for the kids in the neighborhood is a great improvement. So, supportive all around.
Okay, now we have John Cameraman.
I just wanted to add something different.
John, you just need to unmute. Okay, maybe we'll come back to him. So we
Okay,
have,
here we are. Can you hear us
sorry.
now?
Yes.
This is John and Leslie Cameraman, and we lived at 238 Silver Mine Avenue for 44 years.
And all of those other additions are, we did them.
We raised 3 children there. It was magical. And I think their improvements, their additions, the design, it looks fabulous. Justin and who's the other, and Ben
Kurt.
Levy and Kurt, a man named David Coffin did our first renovation, and we're just thrilled that Bethany and Nick love the house.
And I'd like to say,
wish them the best.
I'd like to say something. The proposed improvements in the house are really, really outstanding from someone who lived there for 40 years, over
Yeah,
40 years.
yeah.
We never thought of moving the
Garage.
garage
We
over
didn't
to
have
the
money.
other side.
We didn't have the monies.
The improvements all make sense. They all make the house beautiful. And it is a landmark in Silver Mine.
Yeah.
And in fact, there are a number of books that have the house in it in different states.
And we had it plaqued by people up at Yale many years ago. That's where the plaque came from. And they did all the research on the house. We have a lot of old plans and a lot of all the additions we've done if you guys want them. So
we also have feel that it's an asset to the community. It's a house that will remain, and we would vote 110% to go with what
Yeah.
they did.
I vote 150% if they painted it red again, but it's not up to me. So yes, I think it's a great idea. It's wonderful. We're thrilled for them.
Okay, next we have Clay Gregory.
Clay.
Yeah.
Yes, you hear me? This is Clay Gregory. I'm at 6 Mary Austin Place with my wife, Lisa. In 2 months, we will celebrate our 30-year anniversary at Mary Austin Place. So quite familiar with the street and everything, all the subtleties that go with it. We fully support the plans that we've seen from Beth and Nick. We can't wait to get them back to the neighborhood and get things back to normal here. I think it can't be stressed enough moving the driveway to the Mary Austin side for safety reasons, not only on Silvermine as was mentioned, but on Mary Austin too, so people don't park on the street coming into Mary Austin. It's a quick turn that you run up against there. So again, we can't wait for Nick and Beth to be back with the family and to see them skateboarding down the street here. And we fully support the project.
Thanks.
Okay, now we're going to have Corinne.
Yep, this is David and Corinne Gutierrez, and we live adjacent to Nick and Beth. They are one of the most integral families in our neighborhood, and we cannot wait to have them back. Anything that the plans that they showed us seem very reasonable and very in line with the house they already had. We are very supportive of the move of the driveway with their 3 young children. And we just hope that everything goes according to what they hope for their new home. We would love to have them back as soon as possible.
Agreed.
Okay, we also have Rose Lannard.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I am Rose Lennard. I live on Silver River Court, right around the corner from Nick and Beth. And I've lived here 23 years, so I'm deeply committed and very much love Silvermine. And I think Nick and Beth and their family just are emblematic of everything that's warm and wonderful about this amazing place we get to call home. Fully supportive, love the design. I think it's beautiful, very much in keeping with the neighborhood, and it will be a real enhancement and asset to our area. I cannot stress enough the safety issue of the driveway moving, the garage moving to the side. I walk my dogs, both of them, by your house every single day. And I can say with the increasingly crazy speeding that's happening on Silvermine Avenue, distracted drivers, anything to improve the safety, not only for you as a family exiting, coming in and out, but also for the walkers and the dog walkers who pass by. So I think what you've proposed is beautiful and totally in keeping and will be a real enhancement. And I agree with everyone who says we cannot wait to have, I know you're not that far away right now, but we cannot wait to have you back and just see your beautiful smiling faces and family right here around the corner.
Okay, we also have Scott Doherty.
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to keep this very simple. My answer would be yes, and would encourage the board to move forward with this.
All right. Thank you.
And then I can't remember if we already, Alex Hoydal, you had your hand up. I don't know if we already recognized you.
Yes, sorry, I don't. I already, this is Alex Hoydal Billington. Again,
Yeah.
I live right across the street from Nick and Beth, and I absolutely approve of everything. And again, we can't wait for them to move back into the house. And I think the plans are gorgeous. We're very excited for them, and we hope that it is approved.
And so we still, Rose, I just want to make sure, I think, okay, her hand. Oh, no. Were you all set, Rose?
Yes, I spoke. Yes.
Okay. All right. think we got everybody there for support. Oh,
Well,
the homeowner?
let's ask a simple question. Is there anybody that was wanting to speak who has not spoken?
Here's your answer.
Okay, so I think the answer is we're ready to move on and see if there's anybody that wanted to speak against the project.
Okay, so it's
Wait
the
a few
same.
seconds, and if nobody shows up, we'll move on.
Yeah, no raised hands. The homeowner had their hand up. I didn't know if they.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to review our variance requests and zoning requests. And I just wanted to say thank you to our neighbors too. We have such a great neighborhood. So you guys are awesome. Thank you for being on the call and just supporting us. We love you guys. So we're excited to be back in the area as soon as possible. But thank you to the board too. I know it's a lot to go through all these details, so I appreciate your time.
All right, thank you. We don't have anybody speaking against it. I don't know, John, did you want to summarize in any way or
Justin,
not John. The J's confused me.
Happy to. Yeah, so I think you know, the primary summary that we'd probably like to highlight is just go back to the narrative that we wrote. But I think that, you know, the three hardships, as Kurt mentioned, are that we've got an undersized lot for the zone. We've got a corner lot, and I would add, as I already have at the beginning of the presentation, that this corner lot geometrically is more challenged than some of the other corner lots, even in the Silver Mine neighborhood. And then a portion of the property is within a flood zone, which is a bit further down the, you know, in the yard, but that sort of further kind of hems us in terms of what's possible in terms of where we could expand and build. I think the architectural character of the home will be better than it was. We owners would like to, you know, restore it to a new level of glory, especially on the street facing sides, and the additions that we've planned on the rear we feel are low profile and complementary and not overpowering. So that's what I would share.
I did think of one more question I wanted to ask. If I recall the slope that I saw in the photos, as you go deeper and deeper into the backyard, you go lower and lower. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. The grade does slope down from.
So you have a shed that you're going to move deeper into the backyard. So if you have some floodwaters in the immediate area, how are you going to keep the shed from floating away?
Let me share my screen here if that's okay. So the shed we're still, you know, keeping out of the flood zone. And I suppose Nick and Beth might be able to speak from experience in terms of whether or not they've seen any ponding at all in that zone. But the shed will be on a small foundation and with probably a slight ramp up to it. That's the plan.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll imagine tie it down somehow. Terrific. So we all set? All right. With the board saying yes, then I think we're ready to move on to the next phase. And that phase is to deal with each application one at a time. I would say the easiest way to do this is deal with them the way we have done often, but not always, backwards. So we start with the one just completed. Any objections?
Well, I mean, they're asking for an awful lot. I too would like to see a reduction in hard surface impermeable area, but I think that the work that's been done on this house will become an asset to the neighborhood. So I think any objections I have are small and I'm willing to overlook them.
I agree with Lee. And I think the driveway taking it off the major, road is just, a brilliant idea for safety, but I also think it keeps traffic flow and it just, I always encourage it.
It's some type of consideration that we usually drive right into, and I'm glad that they are doing what they're doing. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm of a similar mind. It's a fairly substantial variance, but I think it's an improvement to the property in a lot of ways, and I think that's about as emphatic a statement of support from the neighborhood as I've seen in my time on the board. So that counts for something in my eyes.
Yeah.
I also agree. I think it's a
disregarding
really
whether it's
thoughtful
pretty?
approach.
Yeah, go ahead, Danielle.
I think it's a really thoughtful approach to this particular home and the idea of trying to, preserve the important pieces of the historic character. Like agree that it's a lot of variances that we usually try to reduce, but I don't see great ways to try to accommodate some of those things.
I disregarding the beauty of the design and factors that we don't really deal with. I just don't think the variances are problematic. They seemingly are not minimal, but close to it. And there's nothing egregious in your face in the way of variance requests. So though we do get those from time to time, I'm pretty happy with the presentation and I support it. Anybody else? So can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve this application for variances with, as far as I'm concerned, without modifications. So
Hardship.
with including the hardships, yes.
We just have to say what they are. So if we're dealing with flood zone and we're dealing with an older
setbacks.
house, yeah, all those things.
I'll second the motion.
Second the motion. All in favor, say aye. Is that you that seconded it?
Kathy did.
Yep. Okay.
I abstain.
Anybody against? Anybody abstaining?
I abstain.
All right. Who abstained?
I'm sorry. Who
Steve.
abstained?
Steve, I wasn't part of that
You
one.
sat out on
All
this
right.
one.
Well,
Yeah, sat out.
you don't have to abstain because you weren't part
I'm
of
just making sure.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. It made me kind of wonder who's doing what now.
It's me.
All right, terrific.
I'm sorry. The second on that was Danielle.
Kathy.
No, it was Kathy Olson.
Thank you.
All right. So that is passed. And we have to deal with another motion. Do these guys fall into a flood zone that require us to take another action? They don't. Do
Oh,
they?
no, it's not coastal site plan. That's 6 Golden.
Okay.
That's the
All
next
right.
one.
We'll move on. Next. We're dealing with 6 Golden Court. Who did not participate in that one? Ben. All right.
Yep.
You don't have to recuse yourself, Ben. Yeah, we're all set.
Oh, good.
So moving on with this one. We're opening discussion. Whoever wants to jump in.
Well, I will tell you my biggest objection is the necessity to trespass on the adjacent property for construction and maintenance. I really feel that there needs to be an agreement in writing and on file with the land records that the adjoining property owner grant access for those purposes.
Yeah, there does need to be an agreement. However, you do remember that the person at number 2, which is the one that you're concerned about, the person at number 2 was supporting the project. You know,
I understand that,
Yeah.
but that property could be sold tomorrow. And the new owner may object vehemently to somebody putting a bobcat on their property for excavation, for putting ladders on their property to paint it. I
Mhm.
really feel there needs to be a letter of agreement.
Did you happen to notice a particular type of planting on number 2?
Wait, well, I think we're talking about different properties. Andy, you're talking about 6 Golden Circle? Golden Court?
I'll read it
Lee-
off here. It's 6 Golden Court, District 6, Block 36, Lot 75.
Right, so that's one property. We didn't
Yeah,
go
it's just,
in
it's just
complete
the one
reverse.
property. If you look at it from the air, you see this big green area. That's not theirs. That is number 2's. And on the edge of that, right next to them, apparently shielding that property from them, is a hedge that goes from the road all the way to the water. And if anybody's building along there, I would imagine the hedge's going to get torn up. There's almost no way to do that and avoid tearing up the hedge. But, you know, they really do need an agreement, but I don't think, you know, as much as I agree with Lee, I don't think that's within our power to require. If we're in zoning, we could require it. But I don't think in ZBA we can.
I mean, that's an expansion of the footprint of the house too. That's like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if it's really necessary.
Tammy,
didn't-
did we have comments from the adjoining property owner?
Yeah, she was in support. It was,
Okay.
I think last name was.
Both sides, yeah, almost everybody in that immediate area. But definitely the property owner to the very end, which is the property to one side, and the folks with the big lawn area to the, I can't remember which way.
If I could just add my thoughts, I don't think an agreement is necessary just for that. It can go the other way around too. The neighbor could be more demanding from that standpoint. I think with this, an agreement would just make it more involving. We got the support from both neighbors already.
Well, I think if you look at it very legalistically, if they have the variance and they can proceed and they damage the neighbor's property, then there is a causal action that can be taken by the neighbor by taking them to court. I don't think that's going to happen. I think the neighbor absolutely approves, but Lee was right. You could sell the property. The next guy in is very unhappy with it, but you have a better standing if the variances have been approved.
I mean, it's
Right, but
0.3 feet from the property line. Like, how do you paint the house? Which I think is Lee's point.
Well, you know, there's almost no room on either side of the house for anything, so.
Right, if I could weigh in, given I live in a community that's very close together, similar to this, I don't think that it's our job as the ZBA board to recommend legal documents between residents. I've never heard of that before. And I don't think that lifting a house, the construction, which I seem to think we're a little bit concerned of, but the construction is all done on the existing property of the number 6. So yes, it would be very easy, I understand, to go across to other properties, but I mean, the construction is all done when you lift the house from underneath and then they go up. I don't really see an issue with the neighbor going onto their property. I wouldn't expect that they would do that.
I mean,
Kathy, well, hold on,
Kathy, I don't-
hold on. Kathy, you're correct that we don't have the power to require a legal document between the neighbor and the applicant. But we can make suggestions. That is within our power.
Yes, no, of course. Yes. No, thank you.
I will say this, the reason I bring this up is because 35 years ago, I worked on a project in Old Greenwich similar to this. And the property adjoining my client was sold soon afterwards, and the new neighbor highly objected to any access to maintain my client's house.
Yeah, we've run into that more than one time. And
Yeah.
that does happen. And
But
it's a problem.
I
So
will
would
tell
say,
you that
I would say
this
John
was-
needs to work on a legal document. That's for
Okay.
sure.
The reason I'm bringing it up is that in the ensuing years, the FEMA regulations have required houses to be lifted higher. And when my client went to sell the house and the house was now non-conforming to FEMA regulations, lifting with the cooperation of this new adjoining neighbor was literally impossible. And there had to be a legal document drafted and approved to make the project work. I'm just trying to look
Okay.
out for eventualities.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Do we have anything that pertains directly to the variances requested?
That the variance requested expands the footprint to push the house, the wall of this house to essentially be a lot line wall. So, you know,
Yeah, I don't love
not
it either.
unrelated.
Do you have an alternative way of getting from the ground up to the first floor?
Not my problem.
We have to, but we can ask them if they do.
I mean, there may be, I mean, it's going to eat up floor space inside the house, but that's the alternative.
Yeah.
And it's a reasonable one that they could show us a design for and say, see, it isn't workable, but they haven't shown us any alternatives.
Mhm. But I had a problem with it just because the houses are so close together and there's so little space to put something in. But there was a second aspect to that additional structure, which was to lift the air conditioner up, conditioning up, and then provide a way of hiding it. So that gives a good reason to have that additional structure.
I
Doesn't
think
mean
they,
it has to be that way. Could be
you
done.
know, I think that's a small carrot to wave in front of us.
No, but I think it frees up though. I mean, they also stated that they're freeing, up and reducing the permeable surfaces. So yes, they're extending the wall because we live in the Northeast and walking outside, as we do, whether you have small kids or you're aging, it's treacherous, for several months out of the year. So I can understand why they would want interior staircases. That makes perfect
I
sense.
understand the need for it. I'm just saying they haven't shown us any alternatives. What did they explore inside the
Right.
existing four walls?
Right, maybe we can't go to Rebuke, but yeah, maybe they can show us that in the future.
Well, we could ask them to come back again next month and give us
Yeah.
alternatives. The really tough one for me, even though I can see a rationale for doing exactly what they want to do, is the space that exists on the sides of the house on either side. It's like zero. And so when they take up even more of the space, I think it becomes a real problem. You could avoid the problem if you have an agreement with the neighbor that they're never going to build a building right up to their lot line. But, I don't think they have any agreements with the neighbor, but the neighbor likes their plan. So maybe they can come up with an agreement that protects them and the neighbor. That could be explored between now and the next meeting. Let us know how it goes. It's always good to be a good neighbor. And I know that we're just not going to take that into consideration in granting or not granting, because that's not our job. But it's a good suggestion, and there's a couple aspects to it that really need to be explored. Anybody else on the structure itself?
I have no comments. Everything was covered. Thanks.
Okay. I would like them to explore a better way of doing it that doesn't eat up so much of that side. I don't know about anybody else. I think perhaps Lee does. Anyone else want to wait and have them explore until
I
next time?
think they should come back with an alternative. Otherwise, I'm gonna vote no.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. Is there anybody else is my question?
I agree. I think that they should look at some other options.
Okay. All right. That's three of us. Therefore, I think it's a good idea to have them come back. Can I have a motion to continue?
I'll make a motion that this hearing be continued to next month, where the applicant will present us with alternative ideas and explore the possibility of an agreement with the neighbor.
Yeah, I agree with that, except for that last part. That's not us.
Fine,
So
I'll remove
removed
the
it.
agreement
Thank
with
you.
the
Thank you
neighbor.
very much. And I'll second it. And all in favor, say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Thank you very much. And remember which one Ben is on and which one Steve is on and which one I'm on, so that, because we all were off on one.
So
with
Andy, you're
that,
not
moving
on, Andy, you're not on the Park Hill one, right?
We've got
Yeah, that's right.
one to
Thank
go. I've color coded everything, so I should be able to find the paperwork real quick. So
It's
let's
the,
see. 4143.
yeah.
We had a very nice presentation, I thought. I don't know if I'm in love with granting the special exception. I mean, everybody remembers what the special exception is when it comes to the ZBA.
Yes.
It's not like zoning. We have to have a very strong reason to grant. And if the property looks to be usable for anything, then we might want to grant it. If there were any other social problem involved in it or detrimental to the neighborhood, we could consider all that. I don't see it as being detrimental. I don't see a social problem. And so all in all, although I think it's too small to play around with, I don't have a problem with granting it. How about the rest of you?
Well, I do think it is a very small lot.
Very, but
you
so's a
know,
lot that he's on.
Yeah.
And
you
the
know,
lot that's next to it on the other side.
Yeah.
The other side is built into the, I know the neighborhood because they had
It's
friends
like
that
a-
lived there. Yeah, when you go down the street straight ahead, this house kind of crawls up the slope. That's
Yeah.
the one that's next.
I mean, it would have to be a kind of similar solution, building solution to build
Yeah.
on that lot where your driveway's right in the middle there, into the garage and then
Yeah.
above.
Definitely.
Whether it's buildable or not, or if there's an alternative use for the property, yeah, I don't see any detrimental impact in granting the special exception. I think I know why he wants to do it. He told us why. I just would think he would want to keep the property and combine it into one lot and use it for his purposes. But he wants it for his own financial reasons, and I don't see any reason to stop him from doing it.
I agree with Andy on that.
You know, it may be that his future with it is I'll expand my house onto the lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
But at this point, he wants it separated and
sell it, I guess, is what his intention.
probably. And the challenge will be for the new owner.
Anyway, I don't have a problem with that. So I think when you look at the special exception language that in the general statutes plus what's in our zoning code, I don't see any harm in allowing the separation.
I don't either.
Same.
So I'm going to move that we allow this special exemption. So that's my
Wait,
motion.
wait,
Andy, I
Andy,
think
you
you're
weren't sitting
sitting
in
this
on
one
this
out.
one. Yeah,
What?
you're sitting out on this one, Andy.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I won't make a motion.
I will make the motion that we accept the separation of the two properties as part of the, oh, the word went out of my head.
Special exception.
Special exception. Thank you, Kathy. As part of this hearing.
I will second that motion.
All in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Say aye.
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 Okay.
So you're
How's
good.
everyone?
Now that's separate from approving his variances, in which for that, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. You guys go
Okay.
ahead.
I really don't have, first of all, I think the roof over the front entrance is a no-brainer. I think that's, a necessary part of a house these days, so visitors don't stand in the rain. The addition to the living room, I think, makes a lot of sense. It's a very small room, almost unusable without it. And the fact that the addition does not protrude any closer to the street than the front wall of the living room, I don't have an issue with this. So I'll make a motion that we accept the application and approve the two additions to this house.
With the hardship for the record as
Lot configuration and topography.
I'll second that.
Or Steve.
I'll second that. Steve.
Thank you.
Okay,
All
all
right.
in favor? Raise your hands.
Aye.
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 Steve, you're in favor?
I seconded.
Yes, I said aye.
Okay, because we don't see you. That's why.
No, but I seconded first. And I said aye after.
All right, that's good.
Okay.
That's excellent. Have you a record of exactly who seconded each one of these? Good.
I do. I'm all set. Yes.
Okay. So what's next on the agenda?
Minutes from August.
Ay, 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 ay. Now, it should be board action on those, which we did, and then it should be the admin stuff, which was the minutes.
Right, the
Everybody get a
August
chance-
minutes.
Everybody get a chance to look at them?
I have no objections.
Me either.
I motion to approve them.
Go ahead.
I'll second.
All right, so I take it we have a motion and we have had a second, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. all in
Kathy,
favor, say-
motion?
All in
Yes.
favor, aye, and raise your hand.
Aye.
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 Steve says aye.
Thank you. Good. Do we have any other announcements to make? I think we've got to remind people that we have an election coming up, our board election, at the beginning of November.
Right.
And so as a result, if you're interested in running, you should tell us. I know Danielle's interested, unless she's changed her mind. She was interested in the chairmanship. I haven't had anybody express to me that they're interested in the secretary. The secretary is also functionally a vice chairman. When the chairman can't be at the meeting, the secretary takes over and acts as chairman. That's why I keep throwing it to Danielle to give her practice. Anyway.
Andy, if no one else steps forward as secretary, I will.
All right.
And I would back up Danielle.
Thanks, Lee.
I'm always there for you.
All
From a
the
legal-
folks.
There's a legalism involved in this that I think some people don't like much, but that's tough. When I read the statutes, I know what it came from. It was some mayor that was pulling a stunt. So they require in the statute that only the regular members vote for the chairman, and chairwoman has to be a regular member. They're silent. The ordinance is silent, and as the general statute silent on what you do with the secretary. I think logically, because they're silent, it could be anybody, alternate or regular. But then they made this little comment somewhere in there that anybody who is chairing the meeting has to be a regular member. So I don't know. You guys figure it out.
Thanks.
Is everybody going to be at the October 16th meeting? That's our next meeting.
Anybody going to miss the next meeting?
Let me double check.
All right. If you have an interest in it, and we would obviously let you do it, let us know. And in the absence of somebody, Lee has stepped up. All set?
Yeah.
Nobody telling. You remember, I told you guys I'm not going to tell jokes at the end anymore. You guys have to tell them all. So who's got the joke ready for tonight? Kathy, you got it?
I don't have any prepared.
Nothing. I'm an accountant by trade. We don't joke. No, I got to practice for next month.
Well, I'll let you guys slide, but remember, somebody's got to tell one next time around. No, not going to be me. All right.
Okay,
Have a
Andy.
nice evening. Thank you for participating and spending your evening time with us.
And motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll
Yes.
second.
Yeah,
Thank
great.
you,
All in
Ben.
favor? Aye.
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 Good night, everyone.
Take care. Be well.
Thank you all.
See you.
Good night.
Bye-bye.